All right, welcome back. Now, a leading Pan-African energy lawyer, NJ Ayuk, has recently launched his debut book that is called Big Barrels, African Oil and Gas, and the Quest for Prosperity. Mr. Ayuk is the managing partner of Centurion Law Group, a Pan-African corporate law which specializes in energy and some other extractive industries, of course, as well as the financial sector. Now, his book has broken sales records since its launch, and he joins us to tell us how he has done it. Good morning to you and welcome to Morning Light.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Sure. Now, this book has broken sales records. You were telling me that you've sold over 220,000 copies.
We have, and that's been amazing. I mean, for a debut book with oil and gas, which is not traditionally what everybody would want to read.
Exactly what I thought. Who's buying this book?
And it's not Harry Potter.
It's not.
But I think what is happening is that you have a lot of people paying attention to the African natural resources. Because when people have talked about natural resources in Africa, whether it is mining, whether it is oil, it's always been associated with a curse. It's always been associated with poor governance, mismanagement. And then for far too long, we've not had a narrative about what's really going on. And when you put up there and you talk to people about what can we do? The past is reference, not residence. But my generation of Africans, what can we do to reverse the curse? What can we do to look at something, and how can we build an African model to manage our resources? And I think that story has been compelling. It's been shocking for me as well.
Yeah. But then, this is your first book, right?
Absolutely.
What inspired you to write this book? We know that Africa is rich in minerals, but what's the reason behind you sitting down and penning this?
I think it comes out of part of it was a frustration. When every time people talked about Africa, it was always something negative. Every time people talk about solutions for Africa, it was always something they can't do it. They forget them. Let's have our benevolent European or American to come out there and shape it for them. The real question we have to consider in Africa today is that, are there African models that can work within Africa? Do we always have to go copy something in Europe? So in the book we talk about, for example, Tanzania. This is a new country confronted with massive discoveries of gas. How are they going to manage it? How are they going to charter it? So they can pick up what Nigeria has done right, what Ghana has done right, but also learn what they've done wrong and say, I don't want to go there.
Yeah, so we do have success stories to tell the world.
We do have success stories. I'll give you an example. In Nigeria today, you have a lot of Nigerian companies which have used free market-driven approaches to acquire big multinational assets from big multinational companies. Now, if you did that in Venezuela, they'll call it resource nationalization. In Africa, we follow the right strategy to have it. Ghana discovered oil and produced it in 14 months, where some countries take about 5 years to get it done. So if you are Namibia, if you are Zimbabwe, if you South Africa, you can say, Ghana did this right, let me do it. Equatorial Guinea, for example, the whole country is powered with its natural gas. So what we're trying to say is that we can pick examples around Africa how people have done it right. And you can build an African model and drive this industry to benefit Africans every day.
But where do we start? More so for South Africa, for example. Do we start by nationalizing the mines, maybe?
Sometimes nationalization is not always the best thing. You have to look at the market. The real question is that you have to empower people to really drive this market. I always say when you integration or through nationalization without preparation, it would only lead to frustration. So you will really provide access to finances, access to capital, people are trained, people are really empowered. And through that empowerment, they can get the asset and manage it. What is wrong, sometimes we turn around to look at the natural resource sector, is that, yes, we nationalize the assets, but if we cannot run them, if we cannot manage them, if we cannot finance them, then we put the asset in a worse performing state than it was. So we should be able to have all the pieces together, but you have to move towards ensuring that these natural resources really benefit everyday people, because these are finite resources. They're not coming back. And if you cannot use these resources to transform your economy and really ensure real empowerment of people, if you don't do that, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, so the point of departure basically is just to have the necessary skills in place, have the necessary finances as well. The
necessary skills, the necessary finance, necessary legal framework. I'm a lawyer. We have to make some money in the process. So,
that's where you come in.
And you have lawyers in place to do everything so that you can get it right.
Done lawfully.
And if it's not done lawfully, we make money again in litigation. Buy one, get one free.
I see. But then where can our viewers get hold of this book? I know that you're in South Africa. You're leaving when tomorrow?
Yes, I'm leaving tomorrow from South Africa. I am going to Frankfurt and to Madrid. But we have been doing very well on Amazon. We are going to be on exclusive books, and we're going to be on your books on next around. But I'll be coming back to do a lot of book signings in South Africa. We've done very well in Europe, but what we're really looking at is we're saying we want us to do this around Africa. So I'll be going to Nigeria, I'll be going to Cameroon, East Africa, and we'll make this a success. This
sounds so interesting. I mean, my conversation with you here has actually made me realize certain things. But do you have some CSI projects maybe whereby you sort of engage with the young people to bring interest in this sector, in this industry more so?
Absolutely. One of the key things we're doing is through our African Oil and Power movement. We're saying we want to bring young people from universities. We want to bring young people who have traditionally been left out. Because this industry, let's be honest, people that look like me and you weren't shaped for this. We were shaped to be at the door, but right now, for some reason, we kind of force our way right up there, and we're saying, you got to pull. You pull others to come in, and then encourage young people to say, do not only focus on being a lawyer. While lawyers are good, they save the world, but also try to be engineers, try to be petroleum geologists, and really look at the hardcore industry, because at the end of the day, it is your resources. If you don't manage them, others would manage them for you. So we have to bring our young people. They need to pay attention to our natural resources, because that's the way, if you really want to save Africa, take control of your natural resources and use that to empower Africa and power everybody. All right. Now, we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, and all the best going forward. Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. It was good to have you in studio here. Well, that's MJ Ayuk. He recently launched his debut book, Big Barrels, African Oil and Gas, and the Quest for Prosperity. So do get this book. It will be available soon at Exclusive Books. That's what you said? Yes. All right. Now, get this book and read more about what Africa has to offer in terms of its resources. All right, let's take a break here on Morning Live. The show continues after this. Stay tuned.